Hello, everyone. We got one of the highest stock risers in the class of 2025 in the state of Minnesota coming to from Wayzata. Let's have her go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I'm going to be a senior at Wayzata.
There we go. So you're playing that dreaded Lake Conference. Well, we'll get all into that. So I always say, let's start with the beginning of your basketball journey. What's your earliest memories of playing basketball?
I remember I started playing basketball when I was like in kindergarten, just doing little like camps and stuff. And then I remember growing up and playing with my siblings just for fun, like in the driveway and stuff.
Nice. Was basketball always the one sport, or did we play multiple sports?
Yeah, growing up, I played a lot of sports. I did track, volleyball, basketball, soccer. But then when I got into like middle school and high school, I kind of just picked basketball.
Fair. What made basketball stand out as like the one, the sport?
I just liked it. I liked how like competitive it was and how physical it was. And I was also just pretty good at it. So,
That helps. I mean, I would say that helps. So we'll go back to last year with the varsity basketball. Wayzata, you're in the Lake Conference. You run into Hopkins section all the time. What were maybe some of your favorite moments from like last year's season?
I just loved like my teammates and like going to practice with them every day was easy because of how good of friends they are to me. And like, yeah, they're just some of my favorite people. And I just loved playing alongside them and helping them and me reach a common goal together. It was super fun.
What would you say if you look back from 1 year ago? Where would you say you've grown the most as a player on the court?
I feel like my confidence has grown the most. And I think that came with like getting reps in and just like building that confidence up through practice. It really helped me like evolve my game.
I like it. If someone hasn't seen you play, first of all, they're missing out. Well, how would you describe yourself as a player to someone that has not seen you play yet?
Yeah, so I like to think of myself as pretty versatile. Like in high school season I played a lot of post and I also play like guard. So for AU season, I played mostly guard. And so I'd say I'm pretty versatile. I like to be really physical and go for rebounds and yeah.
Fair. And then when we get to, we'll talk about the high school season now. We've talked about, the Lake Conference. That is a dogfight every night. How do you feel that prepares you guys when it comes to sections and, fighting the Hopkins because you see them twice during the regular season already? How do you feel the Lake Conference kind of prepares you for like those big moments in the season?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps prepare us all because of how like fast paced and intense each and every game is. Like you can't take a break. You play good teams after good teams all year round. So it really does help prepare for those big high intensity, big stakes games.
Fair. Do you have like a favorite game or a favorite moment at all from last year? Maybe a couple of them from last year's high school season at all?
Yeah. I liked obviously I love like how competitive like playing Minnetonka and STMA and Hopkins and stuff is and like when we like beat like STMA and Tonka like those are some of my favorite memories.
Those are some good teams to beat. You beat the champs, so you can say, "Hey, we held on with the champs." And I always ask the Lake Conference teams this because you guys run into Hopkins in the sections.
Yeah.
I always ask, do you feel seeing Hopkins in the regular season? Do you think that helps to kind of be like we've seen them, even if you see them twice? Because then when you get to section, it's all for all the marbles. It's not a shock. Like their system and their press and stuff isn't a shock. Do you feel that helps seeing them in the regular season?
Yeah, I definitely think it helps because we've seen it before. We can help prepare in like different ways. And seeing them like season after season, like three times a year, it really we know what we're walking into. Obviously, it's really challenging and it takes a lot of hard work, but it gives us kind of an idea of what the game's going to be
Fair.
like.
So coming into this season, I don't know if we have a schedule yet or anything. Do we know of any games that like were kind of circled for the upcoming season, like must watches, must sees?
Honestly, like any of the Lake Conference, any of our conference games, also Maple Grove, we play them twice this year, so that'll
Yeah.
be exciting.
Going against Jordan Odie, yes,
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun. Those are gonna be some really good games. So, what would you say individually, and then as a team? What are your goals for the upcoming high school season? I mean, I'm guessing state, but
Yeah,
for individual and then team, what would be some of the goals for the upcoming season?
for sure. I mean, team goal is to make it to state, get out of our section, you know, beat Hopkins, and hopefully win state. I mean, that's the goal. And then for individual goals, just like doing my best, like working hard and like sharing this with my teammates and making sure I can make my teammates the best that they can be as well.
So you'll be taking on a pretty prominent role in the upcoming here. Who would you say is maybe one or two teammates that people need to watch on Wayzata that you're like, man, like along with you and like the teammate, who are maybe one or two teammates that you're like, they're going to be really big for us this year?
I mean, obviously, like Kate Amlott and Sophie Hawkinson. I love them so much. They're some of my best friends, and they're super talented, and they really are really good at passing the ball and sharing the ball. And I feel like that's one of our really like our core values at Wayzata
Hmm.
is hit the open player and like we don't have very many ball hogs. Like we all try to like share the ball and contribute, and yeah.
I think a big thing you guys have going for you is you didn't lose like a
Uh-huh.
big piece. I mean, you lost like a, but I think like Hopkins lost a big piece and like a lot of the like conference teams lost big pieces, and I think that like makes Wayzata kind of the top of there because you didn't lose really those big main pieces.
Yeah, we
So
pretty much have the same team as last year.
and you
So
guys pushed that team right to the edge too, so it's right there. Speaking of that, like let's say we get to section championship and you guys, I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume it's going to probably be Hopkins that you're going to be going through.
yeah.
What would that mean for both the program and kind of going forward to show like if you were able to knock off Hopkins and get to state?
I mean, it would be super big for us because obviously we haven't done that in the last couple years, even with like our stacked teams in the past.
Hmm.
Like Hopkins has always just been super challenging and they've always come out on top, but I think it's our year.
There we go. And now we'll talk about AAU. Went over to the Minnesota Suns. Once again, no stranger to playing with some outstanding players in a Tori Orline and stuff like that. How would you describe just kind of overall how your summer went and how you like grew as a player even, more from AAU?
Yeah, so I think I grew a lot as a player and I really liked my coach, Dre. He pushed me and all my teammates to be the best we could. And even from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, like I feel like me personally and I think all my teammates, we grew a lot and we got a lot better. And yeah, especially playing with Tori and Tatum, like they're really good passers and playing with them, it's definitely another level.
Fair. Was it nice to have like it's nice to have a Hopkins person on your side for that when you're like,
Yeah.
it's nice that she's on my side now.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because I've been playing against her and she's finally on my team, but she's really sweet. I do love her.
How would you say your game or kind of your expectations of who you are as a player changes from high school to AAU? Kind of some of the differences and similarities in those two situations.
Yeah, so for high school, I kind of play more of a post. And then for AU, I'm more of like a wing. So I think that really helps me because then it helps me like be like super versatile and like transfer my skills and be able to play in and out inside the arc and outside. And yeah, and I think the competition in both is great. Like the AU circuit we were in had really good competition, and then obviously like conference.
Yeah, in the AAU circuit you were in, there's a lot of, I said it's kind of a mixed bag of different like styles and physicality and some faster. How do you think that prepares you kind of as a player to kind of, you never know what's coming at you. Sometimes they're going to be quicker, or maybe they're like faster or stronger than they look. How do you think that prepares you?
Yeah, I think it really keeps you on your toes. It makes you really like listen and pay attention to like the scouting reports that my coach did. And it's just nice to like be able to face all different types of people and players because then it will prepare me for
Fair.
whatever I have next.
Where are some of your favorite players AAU took you this summer? Like visiting, like for game stuff. Where are some of your favorite locations?
Yeah, so we went to Atlantic City. That was pretty fun.
Fair.
I liked being like it was pretty far, so like seeing the ocean and stuff, that was kind of fun. And I also liked like our tournament in Louisville. That was super fun too.
Nice, nice. And then, so I said, in terms of that, when with you said you've been kind of a stock riser, you had more and more attention on you and stuff. That comes with recruiting intention. Not to get too specific, but in terms of basics and stuff, how do you kind of make sure you handle that added attention? Like I said, especially the 2025, they can come directly to you. There's not kind of a coach or a parent in between there a little bit. How do you handle that and kind of make sure you stay level headed in that?
For sure. I think just like thinking through everything and really finding a college that like I like and that really fits me. And I feel like just take it as it comes, like trying not to like worry about it or stress out. Just like,
Fair.
yeah.
Like it. Who, and then they'll give some teammates some credit and then opponents. We'll say, who are you say some of your like best teammates you've ever had a chance to play with AAU or high school? We've named some, I think, but
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said before, like Sophie and Kate, they're amazing to play with and they're super fun. And also some of like my older teammates that graduated, like Abby Kurzwinski
mm-hmm.
and Shannon Forenshell, who are both playing in college. Like they were really good role models to me and they, especially kind of being my same position, they really taught me and helped me learn
Mm-hmm.
what I know now.
Fair. Who are some of the best players you've had a chance to play against AAU or high school?
Yeah, so I mean, for like late conference, there's a lot of people like um Aaliyah Crump and Liv McGill
mm-hmm.
and like STMA, like all those teams, like they're pretty stacked and they're pretty deep. Like they have a good bench too. So like
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of people there. And then also like being a five, sometimes I play like center, so like Trinity Wilson and like those type of players too.
Man, they just throw you to the fire over there. They're just giving you everyone, huh? What
Yeah.
would you say is one aspect of your game you're hoping to kind of continue to reform and kind of perfect in what as you continue to grow as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always working on my guard skills, trying to be that combo, like a three. And so, yeah, and also my shooting, which I feel like has gotten a lot better. And
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
good inside outside. That's pretty helpful. Versatility is a really good word for your game. I like it. And then we'll do some quick hits here. What's your favorite basketball shoe?
Shoe, I liked Kyrie's, but they got discontinued. So now I have Sabrina's, which I do like a lot.
If you're gonna be a shooter, I mean that's a good shoe to have right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, any WNBA or NBA players that you like kind of model your game after or kind of like try to take a little bit from them from?
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of like WNBA, NBA, but for like role models, I think definitely like Caitlin Clark for
Mm-hmm.
like college. I could actually now she's in the WNBA.
Yep, she's never.
But yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, just like she has done so much for like women's sports and like really bringing attention to like
mm-hmm.
women's basketball and I think and her game is amazing and just yeah.
So we're gonna see some like half court threes coming this year. We're gonna see some deep threes. Come on now.
Maybe, I don't know.
Those, I mean, I don't know how she does it. Like she just runs and pulls up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't have the muscle like strength to do that. I couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. So thankfully she can. I'm out of that. I don't have to defend her either. Oof. And then we'll say, what's your go-to hype song right now before a game?
I like I like Life Goes On by Lil Baby.
Fair. So
Yeah.
I said we all need a good. You all need that like that song that just gets you like ready
Yeah.
for a game. So and I'll come. So now that your versatility kind of play inside outside, what would you prefer? Game winning three, game saving block.
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably game winning three.
I always say that because then I tell people what makes me nervous with the block is even if you've done everything right, no body, all clean, everything, all it takes is them to like flail or the ref just to think there's
Uh,
contact, and then you're like, no. So the three at least is a little like more in control than like because you have to like hope that the ref's not gonna like call something they don't need to be calling.
yeah.
Fair. And so I always end with this. You know, you're coming up to senior years, so kind of that. When you're all said and done in terms of AAU and high school, what do you hope like your legacy is that you've left in terms of basketball?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really want my legacy to be like if you work hard and like work at it, like you'll achieve your goals. And I want like people to know that like hard work does pay off and
hmm
also it can be really fun, a fun journey on the way there and just to have fun when you play and enjoy the
Absolutely.
game.
I love it. Well, I cannot wait for the season. I cannot wait to see Wayzata and come watch you guys play. I think it's going to be a very good year. You have Maple Grove coming up, all those late conference games. You'll see me there with popcorn. I'll always be at those games. So, once again, thank you so much. Congratulations on a fantastic AAU season. I said a massive high school season I think is coming up. I think you guys be one of those. I said that late conference is deep, but I think Wayzata is kind of up there at the top of that.
Yeah, thank you.
No
Thanks for
problem.
having to me.
Absolutely. Well, once again, people, get out to see Wayzata. Get out to see her. She is worth the price of admission. And like I said, we can't wait to see her going to college. We'll find out soon here, senior year. So we got one more year with you here in Minnesota. So once again, thank you, thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Have a great one.
Yeah, you